Chapter 1. Mrs. Bellispot. But why do we have to stay? It's a yucky old house and I don't want to stay. Esme repeated her sentence for the fifth time in as many minutes. She screwed up her nose as though a rather pungent onion was balanced on her upper lip. Because you have to, that's why. And we won't have any more arguments about it. Anyway, you've never seen the house before, so how can you say it's a yucky old house? I just know it'll be horrible, all ugly and old, and I bet it has ghosts. Esme was pressed against the door window like a fly, landing on a windscreen at high speed. The mother of Esme stopped herself from stamping her feet in annoyance. As she was driving the car, the action would have caused them to speed down the long, curving driveway. Mrs. Rachel Irving, a proud but frustrated mother, peered into the mirror, having a perfect view of all three children. They were all crushed up on the back seat of her old Quanta Plus, while the seat beside her was filled by Sagbag, Esme's well-hugged teddy bear. Their mother suspected that none of them liked her driving and preferred the safety of the back seat. The reality was that the children preferred to sit together in the back so they could misbehave. She cringed to watch Eric pulling at a large scab of a scar on the back of his hand. Twice having fallen out of a tree in the woods near their home, Eric was eager to display yet another wound. Rachel wished the headrest DVD players were working in the back seat, which would have kept the children amused during the drive. Even the built-in Navitron system was on the blink. Twice in the past week she had been led into heavy traffic on Hyperway 667. She tapped the screen, which flashed 3 times and sputtered, "System down," as if in protest. They had bought the car in 2020, and being more than 10 years old, had now had its day. By next year, the Quanta Plus would be in the recycling yard, and they would have to buy the Brassica fuel-type car. Only heaven knew how much it would cost for the organically produced fuel. "Eric, stop that!" Eric now reacted sharply to the sudden loud words of his mother. Peering over the top of her tinted glasses, mother and son exchanged a reflective challenge of eyes. Although amused by the fact he was tying Esme's pigtails in a knot, Rachel subdued a smile. She kept her eyes on him until the knots were untied, and he was sitting angelic-faced, legs swinging instantly over the seat. Sitting directly behind Rachel was Marissa, her eldest at nearly 12 years. Rachel was less worried about Marissa, who was the most sensible of all. At least she appeared to be. Yet Marissa's lengthy silent moods did make her mother wonder. Marissa reminded Rachel strongly of herself at that age. Thankfully, Marissa had a good sense of right and wrong. "Mum, I'm hungry." As if to challenge Rachel's thoughts, Marissa leaned between the front seats. "You can't be, Marissa. You had breakfast only an hour ago." "Oh, no, she didn't," snitched Esme, in pantomime style, sliding off the window back under her seatbelt. "She threw it in the bin. I saw her." "No, I didn't, Telltale. I'm older than you and need lots more food." "Mum," protested Eric, crushed between the two girls, "will you all stop it right now?" Suddenly the car lurched and the raised voices became yelps as Rachel stamped her foot onto the accelerator. They veered from the drive, spinning along the grass. Slamming on the brakes, the wheels skidded across the grass into a shallow dip. Rachel, adjusting her sunglasses and throwing back her stray hair, leaned back from the steering wheel. She looked out of the bonnet. Beyond the cliff's edge, Rachel could see the grey, wintry sea of the Cornwall Bay, less than 50 metres away. She breathed. Having pulled them to a safe halt, there was no danger of her driving over the edge, but the ominous thought did bring a nervous lump to her throat. Behind her, the children were quiet, with wide eyes. Holding their breath, they shrank back into their seats. "Now look what you made me do. I just hope I can pull out of this ditch." Restarting the stalled car, Rachel crunched the gear into reverse. The wheels spun, then finding her grip on earth, reversed them back onto an even keel. The sudden reversing caused them to lurch again. "Sorry." With a cough, Rachel drove them back on course, muttering under her breath, "Why does my brother still have to live in this ancient place?" Through the tint of her glasses, Rachel glimpsed a towering house beyond the skeletal trees. On hearing her mother's muttering curse, Esme smiled in secret to herself. She knew the place would be horrid. She just knew. The house towered high above the small car as they turned to park. The wheels gave a final crunch on the ancient gravel as Rachel put the car into neutral gear. Against the low, wintry sun, she pushed her sunglasses back on her nose and patted Sagbag on the head. "That wasn't too bad a drive now, was it?" Rachel paused halfway out of the door. "Well, are you three getting out or what? You know I'm in a hurry to get up to Scotland to see your grandparents, and I can't take you." "Why not?" Esme protested and drilled herself into the seat, crossing her arms. "It's too far, and I don't know how long I've got to stay. Your grandfather is not at all well. Come on, get moving." Discarding her sunglasses on the dashboard, Rachel slammed the driver's door shut. Pulling up her coat collar against the cold wind, she looked at the house, making a study of the extensive facade. Rachel knew the house from her childhood days. Now, in rare visits, her heart would sink at the dilapidated state. Esme's quick judgment of a yucky old house perhaps did after all describe perfectly a rambling mixture of styles. Her architectural eyes slipped over the high Gothic gables of the fourth story, following a line to the corner towers with the circular windows with their stained glass glinted in the sunlight. Behind those bricks from the Industrial Revolution, and possibly buildings of Renaissance proportions, were Elizabethan elegance. No one knew for certain. Today, peeling green paint of dirty cobweb windows marked a huge array of rooms, none of which could be described as small. With so many floors and endless rooms, here was potential for a five-star hotel and restaurant, with an ideal position overlooking the sea. But no such innovation would happen. Her brother Sonny lived here. Prior to Sonny, two great aunts had lived here as custodians, until Sonny was of age. Quietly, Rachel was envious of him, not because she wanted to live there, but the value of the property was immense. Rachel felt a shudder caused by the rising cold wind off the wintry sea. She pulled her coat collar tightly about her. Rachel could never imagine living in such an old and very cold heap. Something cold now touched her hand. Looking down, she saw Esme clutching a sagbag and trying to work her cold fingers into her grasp. "Esme, where are your gloves?" "In the car." Glancing out of the corner of her eye, she saw Marissa and Eric join them. "So you've all finally decided to get out of the car?" "Well, we thought we should." Marissa was pale and shivering, devoid of a coat. Because there goes the car." Eric jumped up and raised his voice over Esme's hesitant gasps. "What do you mean, there goes the car? Where is the car?" Spinning about, Rachel, open-mouthed, spied the car rolling gently backwards. With a yelp, Rachel broke into a run, cursing as her heels slipped over the ancient gravel. "Come on, run, run!" Eric bounced in anticipation of the outcome. Would their mother make it before the car speeded up enough, either to go over the cliff or crash into the trees? "Yeah, go, Mum, go!" All three became bouncing cheerleaders, yelling as their mother dived into the open door. Rachel heaved on the handbrake. The car halted again on the grass, this time only 9 metres away from the cliff edge. Esme held sagbag with elfin triumph as all three of them jumped with a cheer. She was glad the car had survived, still giving them the chance to escape from that gloomy place. Driving the car back onto the gravel, Rachel secured and checked the brakes 3 times. Her face flushed. She returned to the children. "Well, that's it. When I get back from Scotland, this piece of junk is going to the car crusher. Is it safe to get my coat now?" "Of course it's safe. I'll get it for you." Some moments were spent unloading the car. Marissa gratefully shrugged herself into a padded coat, beginning to think staying with Uncle Sonny might be safer and less eventful than her mum driving all the way to Scotland. Out of all three of them, it was Marissa who could vaguely remember Uncle Sonny. She had been to the house once before. Eric had remained at home with Esme and their father. But that was a long, long, long time ago. Years and years had passed. She tried to recall what her uncle looked like. He had a beard, she thought, but could not recall if his hair was dark or grey. As they took their bags out of the car, Marissa studied her mother with her shoulder-length blonde hair and tired eyes. The exact age of her parents was always remained a mystery. Marissa tried to work out her mother's age, possibly 25 or 30. That was not so old, but Marissa would have to wait and see about Uncle Sonny. "Okay, children," Rachel handed Esme and Eric the last of their bags. "Now you must behave yourselves while you're staying here with your uncle." "Why couldn't we stay with Dad?" Eric paused on his palm console game. "You are lucky the most in having 2 fathers. You know how they both love you. Remember, your dad moved to Wales only last month, and Craig is in New York." "Yeah," agreed Eric, loading his eyes back on the console. "It's great. We get loads of presents from Dad and Craig. Why couldn't we go to New York?" "I wish Craig could have been here for Christmas," said Marissa. "You know he had to work in New York. It was unavoidable." "I like Craig," Esme wondered aloud about their stepfather's return. "What will he bring us back from New York?" Eric delved into his pocket and produced a pod pistol, the weapon of D.C. Dexter, the Outer Planet detective. This was Eric's favourite film of 2033. Making a fizzing noise, the toy produced green light rings that pulsed fluorescent in the air before dissolving. Eric pointed the pistol at his younger sister. Esme gave a loud scream of protest in the hope that Mum would tell him off. At that moment, as if her scream had summoned the event, the main door creaked slowly open. The little group froze as if in a photograph. They stared open-mouthed at the towering apparition.